For most beginner entrepreneurs, and I can relate, the biggest fear isn't so much the fear of failing, but it's the fear of losing your money. Am I right? So when it comes to building an Amazon FBA business, how can you minimize your financial risk so that you have the confidence to move forward? In this video, I'm going to break down the 4 primary factors that contribute to the overall financial risk. But first, my name is Crescent, and on my channel I share tips and strategy videos, just like this one, and how you can create a successful Amazon FBA private label business. So if you enjoy videos like this, consider subscribing. All right, let's get started. Okay, so understanding what puts your money at risk allows you to be prepared and put together a plan to mitigate or even avoid those risks altogether. Although you're never going to be able to fully plan for everything, it's best to have as few surprises as possible. So the first area of financial risk is understanding the market conditions. And this is the number 1 factor that will determine the success or failure of your Amazon business. Choosing the right product is 90% of setting yourself up for success. If you choose a bad product, it doesn't matter how well you do your listing optimization, marketing, advertising, or whatnot, it just won't sell, period. Choosing the right product involves understanding the market, that there's sufficient demand for the product, who your competitors are, and that the niche isn't too competitive. What the current market conditions are and what the forecast is. Is it an up-and-coming niche, or does it have long-term sustainability, or is it just a short-term fad? Thankfully, nowadays, there's powerful tools that make finding viable products a lot faster and easier, like Jungle Scout, which is what I use to find my very first product. You'd be doing yourself a disservice by trying to build an Amazon business without a tool. But beyond that, you also need to know the numbers. Kevin O'Leary, one of the investors on the TV show Shark Tank, says knowing the numbers is one of the key factors to success. You have to know your numbers. How big is the market? How fast is it growing? How many competitors are there? What's the break-even analysis? Before you even put a single dime of your money on the line, you have to understand precisely where your money is going and how you're going to make that money back with profit. I think a lot of beginners underestimate this and don't put enough emphasis on this. If you don't know the numbers, then you're just gambling. And you never want to run a business based on chance. Every decision that you make should be calculated based on data. I learned this lesson the hard way when I used to day trade Forex. Once you make decisions based on emotion, you're bound to fail. Okay, the second contributor to financial risk on Amazon is your competition. When you've identified a viable niche, you need to understand who your competition is and what they're doing. Otherwise, you're just going in blind. For example, if you wanted to open a coffee shop across the street from a Starbucks, you'd want to know everything about their business. Exactly what are they selling and how much they're selling it for, how they're advertising and marketing, what their operating hours are, the interior design and decor, their customer service, and any other data that you can gather, right? That way, you can differentiate and come up with a different or better product so they can have a competitive advantage. You wouldn't just go and sell the exact same thing as Starbucks. You'd get crushed. No one knows who you are, you're the new guy, and you have no social proof. This holds true when it comes to selling on Amazon, and this is another reason why I see a lot of beginners fail. Just because you find a product that's selling well doesn't mean that you can just go sell the exact same thing and expect to do well too. The copy and paste strategy doesn't work anymore. You have to differentiate and come up with something different or better than your competition. Now, don't forget, competition goes both ways. You have to treat business like a war. Mark Cuban said it best in his book, How to Win at the Sport of Business. Every day, there are people out there that wake up with the goal of making your business obsolete. So you need to always be one step ahead and protect yourself against attacks from your competitors. For example, always private label your product and trademark your brand. This will give you protection against hijackers and counterfeiters, and also gives you access to Amazon's brand registry. If you don't know what a hijacker is, I do have a video that goes over this here. And if you haven't read Mark Cuban's book, I highly suggest that you do. It's full of valuable lessons and insight. The third area of financial risk, and arguably the most important, has to do with your supply chain. There are three types of businesses. You're either selling a product, a service, or both. Now, of course, when it comes to Amazon, you're selling a product, so you need to be hyper aware of every aspect of your product's life cycle so that you can protect yourself and provide the best product to your customers. The whole process starts with your supplier. Always trust your gut. The moment your money leaves your bank account is the moment you've put yourself in financial risk. But there's several ways you can protect yourself and make this as risk-free as possible. First is to never pay with a direct bank wire transfer, also known as TT. If you do a wire transfer, once the money leaves your account, it's gone. Always pay using a method where you have some sort of recourse in case something does happen. I suggest using PayPal and using a credit card as the funding source so that if you do need to make a claim, you have PayPal on your side and your credit card company as a backup to get your money back. It's also important to have an inspection done before your product leaves your supplier's warehouse. It's a small investment for the peace of mind that you're going to get exactly what you paid for. And of course, to minimize as much of your exposure as possible, you need to calculate exactly how many units to order so that you don't invest more money than you need to. I also have a video on that over here. Alright, so as you can see, it's important that you understand what factors put you at risk so that you can be prepared and have a plan on how to mitigate or avoid them altogether. Now, to close the loop, in order to really make starting an Amazon FBA business as risk-free as possible, is to have an exit strategy in case you do end up with a bad product that isn't selling. Now, there's several ways you can recuperate as much of your original investment back, such as setting the sale price to your break-even point on Amazon, selling your entire inventory to a competitor, selling outside of Amazon, such as on eBay or Craigslist, or using liquidation websites. So in summary, the key to making this as risk-free as possible is to understand the business. You need to be able to foresee the potential problem areas so that you have as few surprises as possible. Learn from other people and their mistakes. There's so many resources out there nowadays for you to take advantage of. There's tons of free content out there as well as paid content. And in my opinion, there's no replacement for paid knowledge. So don't underestimate the value of taking a paid course or hiring a mentor or coach that can give you advice and a second set of eyes to make sure you're going down the right path. The bottom line here is that mistakes and failures will happen. It's part of building any business, but the reality of it is that making those mistakes is entirely your own fault. Either you didn't do sufficient research or you didn't heed the advice of others. So I'll leave you with this quote from Arnold Schwarzenegger. You can either have results or excuses, not both. All right, I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, post in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. If you found value in this video, you know what to do. Hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And make sure you click that bell icon to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. There's also a link in the description to our community forums, which you should totally join. And if you're looking for more tips and strategy videos, click or tap over here. And as always, thanks for watching.